In today's video, we're talking holiday eating. Welcome to the video, guys. My name is Tyler, also known as the Fit Chemist, and I help people take control of their lives by taking control of their fitness and nutrition habits so that ultimately we can lead healthier and happier lives. So if you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing. Turn those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post new videos. And if you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. Today, we're going to be going over 7 tips to help you maintain your diet progress even though a big holiday weekend is coming up. 4th of July is right around the corner. I already got my Captain America shirt on. I got Old Glory flying behind me as always, but I don't know about you. I love the 4th of July. It might be one of my favorite holidays, only behind Christmas and maybe Easter as well, because it's such a great time to reflect on this country and realize how grateful we should be for living, in my opinion, one of the greatest countries in the world and having all these amazing freedoms that come along with it. On top of that, this holiday comes in the middle of summer, so you got some amazing weather. It's warm outside. You got swimming, beaches, cookouts, grilling, burgers, brats, beers, fireworks, you name it. All that stuff just makes for quite an amazing holiday. And although these tips are going to be extremely relevant right now because the 4th of July is coming up, these tips are going to hold true for every single holiday. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing a secret phrase that is going to get you out of any sort of pesky diet peer pressure, and I'm also going to be sharing what you can do if you go overboard, because if I had to guess, some of you watching might overdo it a little bit, but P.S. it's a lot easier than you think. Let's kick it off with tip number 1, and that is going to be placing emphasis on the memories and not the food. I hate to break it to you, but if the couple weeks leading up to the holiday, all you're thinking about is crushing a bunch of food, how delicious all the cookies are gonna be, or you're gonna eat like a million hot dogs, what do you think is gonna happen when you get to the holiday and you're in that situation? All you're going to be thinking about is food. Instead of focusing on the food, maybe focus on things like creating new memories, spending quality time with friends and family. Maybe there's people you haven't seen in a while and it'd be great to catch up with them. Or maybe you want to try doing some new activities. Whatever it might be, put your focus and emphasis on something other than the food. Number 2 is going to be plan ahead. I know this one sounds obvious, but I want to give you a couple of pointers on how you can potentially do this. The first thing that you can do is ask the host what kind of food is going to be there, so you can get a better idea and how to prepare ahead of time, as well as what kind of beverages are going to be there. If the host is having too many high calorie option foods, maybe you can consider bringing your own. At the 4th of July, I know a lot of people are already grilling out and maybe they're doing something like burgers and brats and you want something that has less calories in it. Maybe you could marinate your own chicken breast and veggies ahead of time, bring it with you, and then just simply ask the host if they'd be willing to grill it. Or better yet, you can ask the host ahead of time if they'd be willing to grill some food for you so that you know that they would say yes. And in this case, you don't have to worry about anything when you get there. If you don't want to go through the hassle of doing that, then you can try doing some macro budgeting. And I have an entire video on how to calculate high and low calorie days. So I'll put the thumbnail over here and link that somewhere up here. But in that video, you'll learn how you can have some lower calorie days throughout the week and then some higher calorie days on the weekend when it's actually the holiday, so then that way your average calories over the week will actually equal out. A word of caution here though, I do want to say that you shouldn't be eating such low calories that you feel like you're starving yourself during the week, because then once the weekend rolls around, you're more likely to overeat and overdo it than you would have if you didn't do that in the first place. Tip number 3 is going to be set rules for yourself ahead of time. One of my favorite rules is what I call the 1 plate rule. So this is allowing yourself to enjoy things in moderation, but you're not allowed to go back for seconds, because I feel like if you do, you're more likely to go back for thirds and fourths or fifths and then keep overeating. To do this method, simply take your plate and put whatever you'd like to eat on it. I mean, don't go overboard and, pile up food to yay high, because that's not going to do you any good. But don't put anything off limits and just enjoy stuff in moderation. And like I said, just don't go back for seconds. Another rule that I've heard that I really, really like is that at any holiday, you should only eat to a point where you feel full enough that you could still get up and do some physical activity, such as running a mile. If you're eating so much to the point where you feel absolutely stuffed, you want to turn into a couch potato and go take a nap for 4 hours, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably eating a little bit too much. Those don't necessarily have to be your rules. You can come up with other ones, such as limiting alcohol. Maybe you don't want to have any soda, or maybe the only beverage that you're going to drink is water. I don't know. Maybe you have one of the dessert that you're craving, but then no other desserts. You have to find what's going to work for you, but if you have those rules set ahead of time, and here's a bonus tip, if you tell someone else about those rules, it's going to hold you even more accountable, and you're going to be more likely to actually stick to those rules. Tip number 4 is going to be focusing on protein and veggies. This one kind of relates to the one plate rule, because if you take your plate and you fill it up with protein and veggies, then you leave some room for the desserts. You're going to be a-okay when it comes to your diet progress, because those are things that you should already be eating outside of the holiday anyways. We'll get back to the tips in just 1 second, guys, but my question of the day for you is, what are your 4th of July plans? Let me know down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what everyone is going to be doing. At the time of filming, it's about 3 weeks out from the 4th of July, so my plans are not 100% set in stone yet. However, I will let you know I'm going to try my darnest to get my butt onto a beach, plop down on that sand, and not move for the entire day, and then maybe find some fireworks shows at night, because last year they were canceled in Boston, unfortunately, and I love seeing the fireworks. So not 100% sure what we're doing yet, but enough of this babbling, let's get back into it. Tip number 5 is going to be start your day with a workout. So not only is it going to burn some extra calories and give you a little bit of a safety net in case you go a little bit overboard, but it's also going to get you in a great mood, and it's going to remind you why this diet is so important to you in the first place. Tip number 6 is going to be limit the alcohol. So I realize that 4th of July is definitely surrounded by a lot of drinking. You think of drinking beers on a boat, or maybe you're making mixed drinks on a boat, or maybe you're not on a boat but you're near a pool, or maybe you're not near a pool and you're drinking somewhere else. I don't know, but the reality of it is that alcohol does pack a relatively large punch when it comes to how many calories are in such a small amount of liquid. I'm not saying that you have to abstain from alcohol completely. In fact, it is possible to still drink alcohol and lose weight, and I have done a video on this, so I'll put that thumbnail somewhere over here, link it somewhere up here, but it does need to be done in moderation. I also shared that tip earlier about making rules, so another couple of examples could be, okay, maybe I'm going to bring my own alcoholic drinks. It's going to be a set number, and I'm not going to share with anyone, so I know exactly how many drinks and how many calories I'm going to be consuming. Or maybe your rule is that you are actually going to abstain from it, which brings me to my next point. Tip number 7 is going to be use this one-liner to get out of peer pressure. If someone asks you why you're not drinking, or why you're not eating a particular way, or why you brought your own meals, whatever it might be, this one-liner is going to help. Just tell them you are doing a challenge. If you don't want to drink, say you're doing a 14-day no alcohol challenge, or maybe you don't want to consume sugary treats, say that you're doing a 1-month absolutely no dessert challenge, or maybe it's a no sugar challenge in general. Whatever it is, I don't recommend lying, so I would say that you should actually be sticking to this challenge. And if you're on your diet, I wouldn't say that you are lying by saying that, but if you frame it in this way and say that you are doing a challenge, for some reason it just clicks with other people and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll respect that. I think it helps them realize that it's not necessarily about them, and it's more about you doing something that is important to you. Either way, try it out and let me know how it goes. But with that, let's transition over to what to do if you go overboard. Actually, before we get into what you should do, let's start with what you should not do. The things that you should not do are punish yourself, do excess amounts of cardio to try to burn off what you just consumed, and you definitely should not use it as an excuse to keep going overboard. Now, what you actually should do, which I feel like is a lot easier said than done, however, it is still quite simple. You just need to make one small decision that's going to help get you back on track. What I mean by that is that you're only ever one bite away from getting back on track. So let's say you're overdoing it on sweets. I know it's hard, but you might have to put that down and then go eat something else, or maybe you have a small sip of water and then you're going to finish the bottle of water or something like that. That's going to be a small decision that's going to put you in the right direction rather than continuing to go down the wrong direction, and then use that momentum to get yourself back on track. Whatever you do, please do not get down on yourself. I know that it is very easy to do this, but nobody gets fat from one day of overeating, just like nobody gets super shredded from one day of undereating. At the end of the day, we should be enjoying the holiday, especially enjoying some time off of work, spending it with some friends and and family and being thankful that we live in such an amazing country. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Turn those notification bells on because I post new videos every single Friday and you do not want to miss when they go live. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.